Yes, confirm start stream. Should be streaming now. See you soon.
Stream is starting in 3, 2, 1. We should be live. Oh, it's confirmed. Yes, confirm start stream. Should be streaming now.
Okay, sorry, was confirming. I just realized I hit the start stream and then I had to review the Instagram video that I just took saying I was starting the stream. I'm not bright. I'm not the brightest. Okay. Whatever. The wonders of the internet. Okay. I just want to double check. I did review my last stream. I watched through most of it. Audio wasn't terrible, but there were some moments where I was really quiet, so we're trying so you can see my webcam just because of the angle has to be to do the actual art. Last time I was on my computer mic audio. This time I'm on the webcam, so we'll see if that's any better, if it's easier to pick me up sometimes. And I noticed some frame stuttering, unfortunately. So far we haven't had any drops. I did lower the quality somewhat on my face cam and the stream encoding, I believe, if I did that correctly. So hopefully we'll have some less blocky frames. I don't want to drop the quality too much, just because of, you gotta be able to see the picture. That's kind of the point here. I'd rather have less frames and more quality for that, which is so backwards from what normally is, but hey, it is what it is. So hopefully we won't have too much of a problem. Again, I am streaming very haphazardly on a laptop, so I think what was happening was just CPU usage was too high. So we'll try this and see how it goes. Alright. And I also found a way to make chat pop out in a big window. I know there's a way to do it, I just couldn't remember it last time. Figured it out. Okay, so it is 10:26 p.m. Hopefully, as fun as it was last night, hopefully I don't go quite as late as last night. I do have class tomorrow a bit earlier, so we're going to try and make this a slightly quicker one. Get some water. So it is Inktober, or actually, so y'all know what's going on. Any newcomers, this was Inktober day 1. This was the prompt Swift, and today we will be doing the second prompt, which is Divide, I believe. Let me double check that before I say the wrong thing. Divided. Okay, same difference. We're working with the prompt Divided. I had a couple different ideas for this one, so I'm gonna close my book for now, my fancy book for now, and set it over here, and work some of the cheapo printer paper. And we're gonna sketch out some ideas for that. Still couldn't figure out audio either. I tried to get set up for music to play. Still didn't have much luck setting that up, so I gotta fiddle around with some more things. But that's life. So I'm gonna be listening to music through my headphones. Hopefully I don't get too quiet, but that's just the best way to do it right now, because the only other way would be to play the music through my speakers and then have the mic pick up through the speakers, and that just doesn't sound very good. So let me get some music started. This is like the most boring part, I'm sorry. Okay. Music's going. Oh, the other thing I noticed was the cam was a bit shaky on the webcam. Unfortunately, so I have it on an arm clip to the table I'm working on, so it's just gonna get just that little bit of shake, just a little bit. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do to that right now. I have made note of it for the future, though, see if maybe I can clip it to something else. Just kind of a weird angle to try to get. As it is, it's like in my face cam, and it's kind of weird, but make do with what I can get. And I will try to improve things as they go on, especially if they are able to go well. So yeah. Ooh, let me double check. Sorry, I just wanted to double check. I do have dashboard. I have the Twitch dashboard open. Just curious. It does monitor like current stream health, so I just want to see what's going on. Okay, so we are working with. Inktober Divided. Divided! I don't know why I did that, just because. I thought it looked nice on my last stream, actually. I just put hello. I was just like, before the stream started, I was like, that looks nice, actually. So, we are working on with the prompt divided today. No, that put this on. Alright. So like I said, I had a couple different ideas, so I'm just going to sketch some of those out and we'll see where we end up. I had a couple different ideas for this one. One of them was inspired actually by one of the chat members last night, who said they love dragons. But really, I had this idea of like a dragon kind of swooping over a canyon. That's like a really cheap version of doing a divide, but it was a thought. Not sure if we'll go with that one tonight, just because of time constraints. That's the background and dragon, and a bunch of really cool things, and I don't know if I can do that super fast. If I can think of a way to simplify it, then I might, but we might go with the other one, with the other idea I had, just because of time. Also, I feel terrible. I can hear my cat meowing from the door. It sounds so pathetic. It makes me feel so terrible, but there's so much stuff in the garage that I don't want him getting in, and I don't know. I might have to find a way to, like, fix it up so he can come in here so I don't feel so bad. And I did try to post that I was starting a couple different places. I posted on. I tried to give. I don't know how much time I actually gave ahead of time. I should have timed myself. I tried to give like a like 10-15 minute warning on Instagram, and I shared it to like all my other, like to my Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And then I gave kind of the "it's going now," where I actually put the link to the stream. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully that worked out. It was like clear enough. I'm not a huge Twitter user, so I don't know if there's like a more effective way to message or post that than the way I did. But so the other idea I had, that would be the faster, quote unquote, faster way of doing it, is to do kind of, it's a little more generic, but kind of the like two-face split of like a person. Should probably have clarified it the first one. I actually saw a really cool picture. Let me see if I can find that meme of that artist real quick. There was an amazing. So I like drag queens. I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and Kim Chi, one of the kind of leaders, one of the top 3 from one of the past seasons, has been doing some amazing stuff with some artists. think that's still on her Instagram. She's got like all these super cute like lapel pins and things. I love them all. Oh, I love them all so much. Is it not on there anymore? I can't find it. I didn't think it was that old. Maybe it was? I don't remember how old that was. I don't think it was that old. Maybe I saw it somewhere else. Maybe it wasn't on Instagram. Maybe I saw it on Facebook or something. Bummer! It may have been on Facebook or something. But it was like a fan art. It was a fan art of kimchi in like 2 different drag looks, and one was like a cutesy side, and the other side was this like kind of dark, sad side. That I guess was actually inspired by what's it called? No, Danganronpa. It was inspired by Danganronpa. Like despair, hope and despair. I was like, that's cool, that's fun. That one was really good though, so again, don't know if we'll do that one, but just kind of gotta play around with things and see how they turn out. It was really, this one was nice because it segmented it in an interesting way. Some other thought. Is it near anything? That one quite effectively expresses it as well. According to Twitch dashboard, I'm doing excellent. Am I doing excellent? I don't know. Or something. That's actually really interesting. debating on like how literal versus conceptual I want to make this prompt. Like one of the things I like about, so there's a lot of different prompt lists for Inktober. I found a couple that were just character based, so just like draw a character if they were in this kind of apocalypse, like Mad Max versus Cyberpunk or something like that. Saw a couple different prompts like that, which are cool. One of the things I like about the main, like official, quote unquote official prompt list is it's kind of vague, like swift and divided and sword. Sword's more literal, but even then, like what it means to you is very open. Like it's kind of cool how open to interpretation most of those prompts are. Some people hate that. Some people find it really hard to kind of narrow down. Like there's so many options. What do I pick? So for some people, it's really hard. For me, it's kind of nice because it means there's less stress in trying to like fit the mold or like fit the prompt. But it's like, yeah, I can kind of fudge it a bit and just do kind of more of what I really want. Don't start yelling again. Don't make me sad. Don't make me sad, kitty. Choices. I like these two the most right now, but I'm not sure if this one really like, shows thinking effectively. I also feel like the word divided is can be very sad. I don't want to do a sad thing. I don't want to draw too sad of a thing. I don't want to like get in that mood and then try to go to bed or try to do homework. I should really try to do some homework tonight. So I have less to do tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. There's so many things you do with Divide. Those two. This is what we do, the cheap printer paper. So I can just kind of move along. I think like 100 of them have been. I'm trying to think of what she could be holding. So I can say with like the mirror. But do like an actual person's extra. So I could do that's a lot. Ironically, the dragon one's actually looking really good right now. I struggle with backgrounds so much. I need to. Oh, I guess I could look at see if I could find a canyon reference image. Try to. So, a while. Let's do that. Hello! Let's galvanic steel again! Wait, is it right? No, galvanic sleep. Why did I keep thinking steel? I don't know. Hello again. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Let's see if I can find a picture I can use. Background reference. That would be much easier. Let's see. There goes the garage light again. suppose if I was really smart, I could have looked at these beforehand. But I wasn't sure I was going to go with this image. In fact, I really didn't think I was going to go with the dragon idea. But the dragon idea fits, okay? It worked. I like that one. A little. Not long. I guess I could drop it down and just do all these skybox. It's not a bad thought. I guess I could do. It's just so zoomed in. At the back, maybe see that. This part I feel like is really good. It's like the Grand Canyon. You get the little river going through. A little bit of the map behind it. There's some cloud covers. Cloud cover. So maybe it would just be like this slightest bit of mountain here. It won't be quite so zoomed in on it. I'm looking at images as reference. Look up old blue. Look up the old blue. There's I miss the Panzer Dragoon series so much. I'm really sad that we're gonna. Oh my! I'm doing good tonight. Went to my vector graphics class, got some work done at school, so I'm doing good tonight. Kind of hoping I don't run as long tonight since I got class tomorrow morning, but we'll see what happens. It's all good, whatever happens. I'm feeling sad because I can hear my cat meow at me as he whines and complains. He can't come in here. I was also laughing because my stream last night went kind of late. My mom's out of town; she's on a business trip in Asia, and apparently she caught the tail end of it. And so she texted me like a couple minutes after it was over, just like, what did she say? She's just basically along the lines of "good job," and I was just like, wait, what? You got that? Oh, okay. Like I was in there like I wanted to be like I'm so embarrassed, but at the same time, she's like, I mean, I can't really be embarrassed. That's the point. It was just kind of funny to know that she had watched it. Also, if it is a little bit, so it gets a little more coverage. And I'll change that, I think. What am I drawing tonight? What am I drawing tonight? Well, so the prompt for Inktober Day 2 was Divide, and I had a couple different ideas for it. These are some earlier doodles. And so I had a couple different ideas that I was thinking about earlier today. There's kind of the typical, like, the face kind of split in half of, like, good and evil and things like that. But I also had the thought of, was it you? It was either you or another someone in chat last night mentioned they really like dragons. And so, of course, I couldn't help but think about dragons. And so I go, what if I had the image of a dragon flying over a canyon, like the Grand Canyon. And after doing some thumbnails and doodles, I was like, okay, actually, I'm liking that idea more. So I tried to expand it on one of the other ones, and it's just like, I don't really know what I'm doing with that one. But I'm liking the dragon. That was you? Yeah, I thought it was you. So, but my dragon's gonna be a little different. Like I said, I love Panzer Dragoon. That video game series was kind of one of my growing up series. Like when I was growing up, it was one of my games I played religiously. It's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the blue dragon. I'm drawing the blue dragon from the original, like, Sega Saturn. So yeah, and in that game, like, the first level is in a desert in, like, a giant canyon. So it seemed fitting. It seemed rather fitting. So here we are. So you got your dragon. I kept my promise. You got your dragon drawing. Hopefully it will live up to your expectations. I'm just debating on, like, how I want to do the wings. Because that's the one thing, the wings on that dragon don't make a ton of sense. But I love him anyways. I even had, like, so that game series has a bit of a cult following. There was even an animated movie for it that was not great, but I was like, oh god, I must have been like 12, and I just watched it religiously over and over again. In the movie they call the Dragon Blau, which is probably, I don't think he ever was given a name in the original series, but in my heart, that's his name, because that's what I grew up with. That papercraft existed. There's actually a papercraft of the Blue Dragon from Panzer Dragoon, but I had downloaded at one point in my life. I don't know if I still have it. One of these days I'll put it together if I do. This tail further down. It's gonna get a Boston swing right now. We're using a dragon reference. So since the dragon's actually, it's a fan art piece essentially from Panzer Dragoon, I just have a Google search engine open that's a bunch of, it's got some screenshots from the game, it's got some promotional concept art, as well as there's actually someone made a really nice paper craft of the Blue Dragon. Kind of, if you've ever heard peppercorn, it's basically like really fancy origami. Someone made one for the Blue Dragon, and it's basically like almost like a 3D figure that they folded. So I'm using one of that. There's a couple different images I'm looking at, including one from the really old movie. Sounds fancy? Yeah. If you're referring to the paper model, probably. I have not tried. Like, I have it downloaded, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'll make this one day, because there's no figures for it. Like, the series was too old, and it kind of died off. If you remember back in the original Xbox days, one of the opening titles for the original Xbox was Panzer Dragoon Orta, which was the sequel. So it was like there was Panzer Dragoon on the Sega Saturn that did really well, and that spawned Panzer Dragoon, I think it was Y? And then there was an RPG. What's that called? I don't remember what the RPG was called. I feel bad. I'm a bad fan. But there was an RPG, and it didn't do. It was just kind of one of those old series that didn't really last. So they tried to revitalize it with Panzer Dragoon Orta, and it had very mixed results. So unfortunately, it sounds like the series has kind of died. There's a spiritual successor. Like there was a similar. So the game's like a rail shooter, where you ride on the dragon's back and you sit there and shoot enemies and whatnot. It was called Red Dragon, and it died. So I'm really sad because I don't think it's ever gonna come back. But so because it's never really gonna come back, there's not really any figures or merchandise that I can really buy to like remember it. I do own a copy of Panzer Dragoon Orta still. I actually need to get the disc resurfaced because the game crashes on hard mode because of some old scratches. But so yeah, so I have one of these days I'll make the paper model, but I have so many things to do in my day-to-day already that I don't know when I'll ever get around to it. Let's see. Oh, the other image I'm looking at is just a Google photo of the Grand Canyon. That's kind of my background reference. Let's put that up there. I'm not gonna get super detailed with the background because I'm lazy with backgrounds, but I'll get like a basic idea of it. Probably give a setting. Loki make the whole picture? Absolutely. It's kind of funny. I remember in one of my early art classes, my teacher kind of commenting like, when you're a little kid, you draw the background. Like, when you're a small child starting in art, and I found some old drawings of mine, and it confirmed this, of like, remember you draw like your family with your house and the sun, and it'd have like the smiley face or whatever, but like you would draw a background. Of course, it's super simple, but it's like you have your house, the yard, and the sun, some kind of sky. And at some point, we stopped doing that. We start like prioritizing the content, like the focus of the family versus the setting. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you can tell. It's one of those things that makes me really sad. Of like you can tell in when someone's doing a webcomic or something, and they'll have like super amazing looking people, and then the backgrounds they'll either be non-existent or they'll be very minimal. And there's nothing like wrong with that in terms of everyone's in different places of regression. But it's one of those things that it definitely like sets you apart if you have one, or like it's a very knowing tell of like where you stand in your art and like your processes. So I'm not super great. I just eyeball stuff really loosely and guess and fill in space. So don't expect anything crazy tonight. I'm not a pro. If you try to get me to draw a city with cars in it, I will cry. Rocks are easy. Rocks are easy to fake. Cliff sides and all that, like that's super easy stuff to fake. Cities where it's like non-organic shapes, oh my god, I will get a headache and just because like even what I have like right now, like you can see the mountainside, you can see the creek and the mountains in the back, like clouds are so easy. People talk about how hard these clouds are so easy because it's just, especially like because I do watercolor work, it's really just like let the water do its thing, let the water do its work. But yeah, it's definitely something I need to practice more. Which the ideal way to do it is to physically go put yourself somewhere, like do plein air painting kind of stuff. I always feel so awkward doing it. It's like the people talking about like they go to Starbucks or they go on the bus and they draw people on the bus. I did that once, and I felt super awkward. It was fun, but it's just kind of one of those things where, you're staring at people and people are staring at you because you're staring at people. It's just like, I just feel bad. But yeah, definitely, if you have the time, to put in the background, it's always good to put in the background. Just because it does give your piece like that extra level of quality. Because nothing floats in space, and even space has a background, right? So we'll do some things we're kind of going to do. I should have done this before I sat down. I'm going to step off screen for just a second. I'm going to try and search through my stash and see if I can find either a graphite stick or a woodless pencil to back to this. Some detail. Aha! Not at all where I expected one to be. That'll work. Take it. Back in the chair. I don't know what it is about being on stream, but it makes getting that chair so much easier somehow. Yeah, this is my woodless, one of my woodless pencils. They're super nice. This one's a Cretacolor. if you ever do a life drawing class, or if you ever do like life drawing and you want to do pencils, these are so good. So literally this whole nib, so like in a regular pencil, I don't have a regular 2B pencil anymore in here. Like, you know, it's like the little tiny nib point. These, it's like literally that whole end piece, and so you can just go, here, watch this. You can just go, whoosh. Like, you can just get crazy stuff going with it. You can just cover a lot of material in one fell swoop. This one's an HB, so it's not going to get very dark, but you can get them like, you can get them all the way from like 2H to 9B or whatever. That falls to the back, that falls second, break it down. The atmosphere and the clouds. Okay. So we're gonna do 2 parts to this drawing tonight, actually. The reason I wanted this was so I could cover a lot of ground to do this. Those are awesome. Dude, these are amazing. When I found these, oh, it was a happy day. I bought a whole set, and I bought like 2 of each one, because I needed them. Because so, when I draw life drawing, I don't sit here with a pencil like this, like I literally draw on the side, so I can get huge gesture marks, like all in one go, and then you can sit here and just go, I want a pear. It's a little hard because of the art table, but it's like, you can just get like super, and then you can get a little more detailed, and like shadows, like you can just sit there and do crazy stuff with it. It allowed me to cover almost as much material as a graphite, or as a charcoal stick, without being charcoal, because charcoal's so messy. It has its place in my art kit, but not my favorite material. Okay, so we're just covering the back of this to do kind of like what we did last night, where so we did our drawing, and then we're going to cover this and then trace it onto my other sketchbook. The like actual ink sketchbook. That way I don't have to like try to redraw it, I can just trace it. Take some time. I don't have to rework out any of the problems that I already solved. Not a big fan of chart, I'll use it once in our class. Yeah, I used it extensively in my life drawing 1 class. And it was fine. Like, it was fun, but it's just a, excuse me, it was just a pain to maintain. And of course, like, every day I'd walk out of that class and just be, like, covered in charcoal, and, like, I'd have it on my face and whatnot. So it was just dirty. I mean, it's like right now I'm wearing pajama pants and a shit shirt, because I don't want to get any ink on anything. Like, I looked cute today. I had a cute outfit. I wore some new pants. It was just like, I'm not getting that messy. I just want new clothes. I don't want to get dirty. So, if I ever wear something nice on here, it'll be because I'm doing a digital piece or something that I don't have to worry about getting dirty. Because I'll sit there and go, oh no, I'm clean, I don't get it dirty. I did that once in my painting class. I was like, oh, I haven't done anything on me in a month. Like, I'm much cleaner at painting. And then that same class day, I got a big blob of yellow paint. Like, that big on my pants. And I was mad. So, yep. Set up this one. almost fits perfectly. Cool. Tape. Right, we're gonna washi tape again tonight. I need to share a picture on Instagram of all the washi tape between you guys in chat and my old classmates that are big stationery nerds. I need to put a picture on my Instagram of all the washi tape I have, of like the big storage container I have. So much washi tape. It's not even technically all that I have. I got rid of some, and I have some that I leave out because it's tape that I don't plan to use a ton of. It's tape that was in a pack that I don't actually like. So I sit there and I'll like make toys with my cat with it. Silly stuff like that. Okay. So actually, since we did it this way, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll do that. I think this would be a little darker. Yeah. Boy, this table fills up fast. I'm kind of sad we cut it down now. We cut it down. So this tabletop, my art table I got from a neighbor, but she was very sweet. It was actually a bigger top than it is now. And we cut it down to fit it into a room upstairs. And now I'm in here and I'm just like, aw, I could have used that. But I really want it that bad. We can get a new top for it. I'm not that worried about it. Let's see, so we've got there. The other cool thing is, so since we're doing like Grand Canyon, so it's got the layers in the sediment on the mountainside, which I'm not going to go into too much detail here with pencil, but that's going to be some cool stuff to do. And the watercolor, just kind of let the water do some neat things. It does come out really faint. Sorry. Yeah. That's it. As far as I can tell, I'm still not really dropping frames or anything too bad. Hopefully that's fixed. Let me know if you notice any, like if it's still really choppy. I can do some on the fly troubleshooting, hopefully. Maybe. But I'll just fix it later. But I'd like to think I'd be able to troubleshoot it on the fly. I may be putting too much, expecting too much of myself there. Oh, let's place it where I was going with this right here. I think this here. It's not that choppy. Is it still kind of choppy though? Like you're still noticing some freeze ups? Because I know I was watching the stream from last night and it was really bad at times. It's just kind of hard. I've only got one little screen. There's only so much space for it. If I'm looking at reference, it's kind of hard to keep track of OBS. Yeah. I'm still dropping all frames. We might just mess with it later. Might have to get some tech support from my brother and see if there's anything we can do. I don't know if I'm on this other Twitch. No, right now it's a little choppy, but not too bad. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I can really do because I'm afraid I don't want to drop. So what I think was happening is I don't think it's our internet. Our internet's pretty good, and I'm streaming at a time of night when there shouldn't be much activity. Like my brother's basically in bed. My mom's not even in town. She's not home. So I don't think it's internet. I think it's just CPU usage on my laptop. I think it's just basically I'm straining the computer in such a way that it can't. I think of how it was described. Basically, when it's encoding the video out, it's struggling and stuttering, I guess. I'm not sure how much I can really do with that exactly, with my poor little laptop. Ideally, it wouldn't be an issue, but I'm making do with what I've got, so. So I'll definitely look into it more and see if there's anything else I can do, but I'm not sure how much luck I'll have with that. Some bushes. That just makes squiggles. Some clouds here. Okay. I think we can work with that then now. So let's refine that a little bit so we can see what I'm looking at. Clean that up a little bit so we can see and remember what was what. There. Okay. And then we got some clouds here, puffy clouds. Okay. So there's part A, essentially. So basically, so I traced the background. Now I'm going to redraw the dragon bigger to fit on the new background. Tape way down. Yeah, paperweight, use tape. Put it down, use tape. Tab open anymore. Might move a little bit. Okay. Other tab open with the dragon images. Oh, that sweet, sweet reference. Okay, so I have him, Commoner's heads, probably back here. That sweeping thing. His torso is probably back here. A little further back. There. One wing page. Spins. Foreshorten his tail in a way that doesn't look totally dorky. It's too okay. What we got? It's water, that's what I need. I think I need a different song. Need a different song. Do I have... Probably not, because that would be too apt if I had the Panzer Dragoon song up. If I did it was a long time ago. Oh, the dog hat, that works still. I vaguely remember that sound. I vaguely remember looking for the soundtrack and it being like notoriously hard to find a good copy of. So maybe not. I think the only song I ever found, I think the only song I ever found a good version of was the title song for the whole thing. Or you get a comic notification, you don't even recognize what comic it's from. Scouring for the perfect reference image. The other thing is because the game's so old, like even with super nice like concept art and promotional art, it's so hard to find good copies of it, like high quality copies. Still amazed at how fast I sketch. Yeah, it's because I just don't. I don't do a lot of. I try to do as little detail as possible for a variety of reasons, and it's just. Like, one of the reasons I can sketch, like, I'm taking a little longer on the dragon, just because I don't know all the details, but, like, people, I did a oil painting of a person in a day, like, not even a day, in one sitting of, like, one class sitting, because I knew, I have the muscle memory of, like, what motions to make, to make the line I want. And like I could sketch the background as fast as I did because I just practiced my eye, and I know there's a lot I could fib. Your human brain is amazing at making up information. Like in art, there's a term called invisible line, and I use it a lot when it comes to backgrounds, because people are good at filling in their own blanks. It'll probably help change the settings to like look at big images instead of just whatever's there. That helps a lot. Thank you. But like the dragon I'm taking way longer on because it's dragon anatomy. What's dragon anatomy? I don't know. What do you think dragon anatomy is like? So I gotta like come up with and fill in the blanks myself. I do know some things. Like I was able to do the head fairly quickly, like the general shape of it, just because I. Again, if I draw dragons, this is the kind of dragon style I draw more, just because it's my favorite kind. But you still kind of gotta think about it. I feel like that's too far down now. Too far down. Trying to debate on how I want his legs to be positioned. Hold on, stretched out or not. I also love this dragon design because it had armor and like armor plating. I'm like, who doesn't love a dragon armor plating? It's like you see corgis and armor. Armor makes everything cooler. You see a corgi in armor plating? Nice. You see a dragon in armor plating? Oh boy. Low key Game of Thrones stream. It's like give Daenerys some armored dragons. Let's go. Did I say corgi? I did say corgi. Have you never seen the images of like a corgi in armor? Or like squirrel armor, cat armor. There's one for every kind of possible pet now. It's like a corgi in armor is cool. Anything in armor is cool. A dragon in armor is amazing. I can't say have to be, but do a Google search. I'm sure you'll find it really quick. There's some people on DeviantArt that have done it just as like fun side project. Or like you do follow cosplayers, Kamui Cosplay. She's a I don't know if I'd say famous, but she's a well-known German cosplayer. She has two corgis, Midna and Zelda. They're super cute. She gave one of them like a Fallout style, post-apocalyptic armor. So cute. They're just so cute. Little fluffy butts. I still think the funniest one I've ever seen was squirrel armor, though. Like, there's a picture of a squirrel that was, like, internet infamous for a while of, like, a squirrel in military, like, little soldier garb. So silly. Let's see. So he's got one piece here. There's a piece there. One. Well, the funniest thing to see would be a human in armor. Hey, go to Ren Fair. He'll get a good laugh. No, armors are kind of one of those things of like. I'm just kind of one of those things where I'm almost. It's one of those. I'm almost amazed the practice of armor making still exists. When you think of all the things, all the skills and knowledge we've lost to time just based on like we don't have a use for it anymore, like it's kind of cool to think that it's still around. I'm sure it's not the same process as it used to be, just because there's tools and whatnot, but like there's a YouTube series called Man in Arms, I think, where he makes swords and he'll make nerd themed props, but nerd themed swords. Some of them are crazy, like he's made the Final Fantasy VII Cloud's Buster Sword and out of as like a real sword. Some of the things they do in there are, you know, obviously, they're using grinders and things that they wouldn't have had way back in the day, but there's some other processes that you realize are like, oh, that's like 1,000+ years old. Like, that's something we've been doing for millennia, and we're still using it today. That's the part of history I like. You love those videos? Yeah, they're really cool. And it's really interesting to see how they problem solve for some of those things. Um, like, I'm not a huge League of Legends fan, but they did Sonya's sword, I believe. And it had like this big hole. Like there's the handle, and there's a metal, like a ring, and then the sword, which is totally counterintuitive to how swords work, where you'd have like a full tang. And so it was interesting to see them problem solve of like how did they keep the sword strong and structurally sound, but keep the look. So it's kind of one of those cool things to watch. It's like the worst part of describing this wing. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm burping so much. Excuse me again. I don't know why I'm burping so much tonight. Okay. Too long, maybe. I shortened it. It's not a single point. Work. That would make sense to me. So what's that? Let's switch that. I'm cold. Wait, I just turned off my fan. Hopefully that works. Hopefully. I mean, that does seem like a logical first step. Perspective is a thing. Straight down. Here's the part where I look at something really different. Oops. Not Hawk Moon, just Hawk. Thank you, Google. Let's see what we can find. Ooh, that's good. I have a hard time visualizing something that's flying. Look at something real that flies. Best quality image, but it's from the right angle. So, it's up this one. Little wheels. Still moving there, just so make a little more sense, because otherwise that wingspan doesn't make sense to me. It's okay. So many reference images. Yeah, that works. This is another joint. Let's cut off. Do I have any animals? I do. I actually. So in our household currently, we have 2 cats and 1 dog. The 1 dog is actually going to be going to a friend soon. He's just kind of redoing stuff in his apartment. But but the 2 cats are both mine and my mother's and I. One is the little old lady kitty who used to be my cat and then ended up bonding with my mother more to various reasons. My cat, Tycho, my Tycho kitty, he's a little shit for a cat. He's my sweetheart, but he actually has been. I know where he is right now, and it's on the other side of that door. Both last night and tonight, he's sat at the door meowing because he knows I'm in here, but he can't come in here because I won't let him in here. Breaks my heart, but he gets into everything. He's still kind of young, so he gets into everything that I could possibly leave out, and so I'm really afraid to let him in the garage where there's paint cans and bug killer, and now we have a bunch of furniture that we're moving around. So I'm just like, the last thing, he's also jumpers, and the last thing I need is for him to jump on one of those bookshelves and knock it over onto my head, or worse himself. So yes, I have animals and I love them dearly, but the garage is not the place for them. For both the sake of my sanity and health. Okay. He's got striping. In the garage, I've always wanted a garage. Yeah, I used to have my art stuff set up in the actual house just because of temperature reasons. Like I said, I live in Texas, so it would get way too hot. But I found out that the 2 air conditioner units in here work. I didn't know they worked for the longest time, so I moved into here. It's still a mess, and we're still working around stuff. We had to clear out a lot of space, but it means if I paint or do cosplay things, like, I can do it at 3 in the morning when I'm awake and no one else is, and not worry about waking people up, or be worried about ruining or burning carpet with a heat gun or anything like that. So it's definitely got some pros. It's got some cons too, but definitely it's been much nicer than I actually expected. I didn't think I'd like being out here that much. As much as I have. It's become the room away from my room. which sounds silly, but it is what it is. Okay, so I need to do my pencil trick again. Which actually I don't need to do the whole page, I just need to do a little bit of this. Silly me. Kind of funny though. So the reason I have a garage is so I live with my mother, just for financial reasons while I'm doing school and all that kind of stuff. Because minimum wage job does not allow me to afford an apartment often. Being expensive for that. But that's kind of one thing. Like, I'm at the point now where it's like, if I do move out and get an apartment, I'm just like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna have space to do anything. I'm not gonna have space to do all my art stuff or my cosplay stuff. I'm like, man, even if I move out, I won't really move out. I'll still, like, I'm gonna have to beg my mom to let me stay, keep stuff in her garage so I can come and do stuff. It's like, I can't give it up now. Pencil, but over the arm right now. I think I'm gonna color pencil ones are upstairs in my drawer. Oh shit, do I have it in here? Shit. How did you finish this thing? I had that one in here. I totally forgot about those. Maybe hit jackpot. Hey, I hit jackpot. Even better. What happens? You rearrange everything. You don't know where anything is anymore. You're just blindly looking for things. Like, what's in here? Oh, look at that thing that's been missing. Haha, now I can just. Yes. Wouldn't this have been nice 5 minutes ago? Story of my life. Okay, let's try that. Okay, I've got a pencil over the other side. Still getting messy hands. I might have to go wash my hands before I do ink stuff later. Ah, that's much cleaner. That's much easier to see. Just needed something a little darker to have it show up. feel like I'm being way quieter tonight. I think I'm just more tired. What time is it? We're at 11:58. Not bad actually, considering we're about to start inking the stage. It's earlier than it was last night. I think last time we didn't start inking until like 2 a.m. or something crazy like that. It's 9:58 where you are. That'd be nice. It's I had class until 8:40 p.m. tonight where I am, and so then it's like I had to get home and eat food and whatnot. So change clothes, all that jazz. Technically, I still have stuff to do after tonight, which is why I was saying earlier, like, I don't think I'm going to go quite as late tonight if I don't have to. As fun as it is, I just got stuff to do. I got lots of other stuff to do. School and whatnot is important. Ooh, which reminds me, I need to message my mother about work stuff. Okay, should be all of them. And now you're fine again. Blocking it when I'm like that. Oh, only just barely. Awesome. I'm doing it a lot tonight. I was like, oh no. Don't block the camera. Don't be a fool. This actually progressed quite nicely. This is not what I was expecting to be drawing tonight. I'm not expecting to be drawing a old school childhood Panzer Dragoon piece. Makes me feel good. Debating on if I want to do the same thing I did last night with the pens, or if I want to do just ink tonight, or what. I might just do pens for time, because that seemed to work pretty well last night. It's just harder to get like legitimate watercolor washes that way, which I feel like would be better for the background on this one. Maybe pens, yeah. Pretty safe. Pretty safe bet. So I think my, because I don't want to do marker, not for this. Ink have here. I wonder if that would count. I wonder if that would count as ink water soluble. It's wax, but that'd be fun. I've got black of that. Yeah, I don't have the Higgins. I could do the Higgins black ink. I do like old school. It's really more calligraphy ink, but ink is ink for me. It's just way messier. Picture. You love calligraphy, it's so beautiful. Oh, absolutely, I love it. I'm terrible at it. But I would love to do more. I'm the kid that hated cursive. I'm the kid that hated writing cursive because I found it too time consuming, and I just wanted to write in print because it was so much faster and more effective at getting the information down. I felt like it's not something I necessarily regret not learning better, but yeah, like because I do a lot of journaling stuff now. Like I see a lot of people do really fancy calligraphy and whatnot in their bullet journal and whatnot. I'm just like, I would love to do that, but it requires retraining my brain, and I just haven't convinced myself it's worth it at this point yet. So I feel bad because I've got that calligraphy that I feel like I should actually use for calligraphy, but I've just used it for art stuff. But I don't feel, now I feel guilty because I got it for free. I got it from a giveaway by Jet Pens. If you like calligraphy stuff, you should check out Jet Pens. They're a web seller. They've got tons of great products. That's where I've gotten all my fountain pens and stuff from. A lot of my school supply stuff, like I've actually gotten from them just because they've got cool things. Forgot to do his feet. That would have been bad. Where did his feet go? I don't know. They flew away. Yeah, so we are progressing quite nicely. And it's been done. Alright. The question I have is, where do I start? I'm actually going to be right back. I'm going to wash my hands real quick so I don't smear graphite all over this while I'm inking it. Some put on me wash my hands real quick, get all the extra graphite off, and quick bathroom break, all that good stuff. Let's see, some of these picture tabs I don't need anymore. See, is it showing? Yeah, it is. There. Don't need to see that. Let's fix this. Sorry about that. Just wanted to check on some dashboard stuff real quick on Twitch. Make sure stream health is still all good, that sort of stuff. Okay. So, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do. I think I'm at least gonna do the pen for the dragon. Just because that's a little easier to deal with it that way, I feel like. In the background, I might do some of the regular. We'll see. I have one other idea, but we'll get there when we get there. This piece of paper. You have good news and bad news. Is it bedtime for you? Do you gotta go? Oh, I'm sad, but I totally understand if that's what it is. But then what's the good news? I like good news. What's good news? What's the news, my friend? What's the news, my dude? We should do it this way so it's not quite so obnoxious. Let's do that. I don't know if it really matters. Good news is I have orientation to start working. The bad news is I have to look at them like 7 hours. Oh, ho, ho. I feel ya. I feel ya. I have class at noon. Which means I have to get up an hour beforehand to like get dressed and pack my bag and all that. So yeah, I feel you. But that's congrats on. I'm guessing on getting a job. If you have orientation, congrats on that. Jobs are nice. At least money's nice. Money's nice. Maybe the job's not nice, but money's nice. So congrats. told you that Philly. When I first got my job, I work at Target. When I first got my job, they hadn't like set what hours they wanted me to work yet. They kind of like in that introductory period, they just kind of stick you on everything. The couple days I had to open, I wanted to die. Oh, I am so not a morning person, let alone a like morning and get up and go and greet customers and give great customer service at 7 in the morning. Like be there by 7 in the morning. It's not fun. So I feel you. So yeah, if you gotta go catch some Z's before you go to work, I totally understand. Thank you, money is good. Money is nice. Money is what afforded me like these. Money is what gave me my art supplies. I cannot complain. Also my computer and all those great things. It's kind of one of those necessary evils if I don't really want it, but that's how the world functions. Let's see. So I've got. Oh, what's the next prompt? Like just thinking ahead. Some poison. What did I draw for poison? I'm definitely being way quieter tonight. It's partly because also I think this one was just a bit more intensive than I did last night. I have a lot more pieces to keep track of in this one, for sure. I suppose I did to myself, but it's life. Alright, we are moving along. See you later, alligator. See you later. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you have a good orientation and get some good money. Get that good money. Make that mulata. Have some fun. I might give in and start singing tonight. I got away with that doing it last time, but oh, it's so tempting tonight. That sounds terrible too. It's like a coffee. You say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. Let go. Say. To dust. Oops. Fix. Oh dear. That's fine. Not a time to mess up though. Like crucial part. Oh, that's life. Okay, so what I'm actually gonna do this time, I didn't do this last time. Kind of just left the pencil marks because it wasn't that big a deal. They weren't super noticeable. We're gonna clean up on this one just a little bit because they've got the background drawn underneath them. So it's a lot of nonsensical lines that don't connect in this case. We're seeing any like particular I was trying to see if there's any more like detailing that was really crucial, but not particularly. But it is actually did the line wrong, but my pen just went as well. yours noisy? Alright. This is very bouncy. Alright. Messy. Oh, my track frames are loose. That's weird. Where would it crease it? Okay. Before I do that, I want to test. Okay, so I did this ink test last night. There was 2 of my pens. Look at what I used. So this one I used for the line art is this one, so it didn't smudge too much with the water. This one that's the same brand, but it's this brush tip. Still a marker. But I'm curious to see if it bleeds a lot more or not a lot more or whatever. It's certainly a yes on that. I'll wait for that one to dry and see if it still does it once it's dried. So I might do super fine lines with that and see if let's see if we can do some like super fine lines on the long side and then kind of play around with it out a little bit. See, once it's drier, it doesn't seem like it does as much. Like it does if you really get into it, but not as much as you think. Cool, I can work with that. I can work with that. Let's do that. Since it's a brush tip, I can kind of just do some squiggly lines. These are squiggly lines and expand on them with the brush. It should be cool. We'll keep the pencil marks for the scenery. That's fine. I don't feel like that's as crucial. So I'm gonna get some nice feathering. I'm getting some nice gradations with that too. Cool. Good stuff. I'm going to have to refill that tonight. We'll see. So, I'm probably should start over here first, but that's fine. Because this side, it's a shadow, it's going to be really dark. And there's the garage light again! I feel bad because I call it out every time, but it's just like, it's so random when it does it. It slightly drives me crazy. smudging my hands all over everything. I'm gonna do this. This is a thing I can do. It does. It looks like a thing I can do. Nice. Sweet, okay. I want more of these. These are cool. Those are so cool. It's neat to be able to to use this in tandem with it. It's so easy. Such a great, easy way to just do some stuff really fast and not have to sit here and mix paints or do anything super extensive. It's a little harder to get lighter colors with that one, but it just takes time. I'll get it. What is that? Some dust or something on my palette. One of the things to keep in mind when you're doing any kind of watercolor work or inks, anything like that, you want to work light to dark. So that's why I was talking about I don't really want to do, it's hard to get anything kind of lighter, because I don't really want to start with dark. Some of these areas will be darker than they are right now, but I'm going to start with the really light stuff. Because with watercolor, acrylic, you can put bright yellow on top of black, and with enough layers you'll get it. Watercolor, you don't really have that luxury. So you kind of got to think ahead a little bit. Or as much as you can of I want to stay, because really your lightest areas will just be pure paper. You won't have touched them, essentially. Is the idea, at least. Now, this doesn't mean we don't cheat. I have some. They're not gel pens, but the idea is white gel pens to kind of back in the white. But again, really, the idea is you don't even want to do that. Because once you get your light stuff in, you can just basically, you can even take the same color, you can take the same shade or tint, and if you just layer it enough, it'll darken it. So even though I haven't added any more ink to my brush tip or anything, if I go over the same area multiple times, then it'll darken still. Detailing. actually, I think about it. I'll do it on the next layer, it's fine. So all the, like the armor pieces, like this plating and the helmet, is kind of, it's like a bone white. So I think I'm actually gonna just like do all of the skin, because it's a blue dragon. Do all the skin darker, in just like a wash. Then we can just kind of layer on top of that and darken it as we go. Okay. In the meantime, let's go back to doing some of the background. Get some of that definition going back in. Okay, so we've got kind of like matte things out of the dragons back on top of things. It's like, what was this area supposed to be again? I can't see anymore. That's the other thing, is I gotta be careful that I don't darken the dragon too much, because he needs to kind of like stand out from the background. I gotta make sure that I don't darken him or have him too light or whatnot, that he gets lost in the texture of the background. But I think we'll be good. He's simple enough shape, and I've got the background kind of complicated enough that I think we'll be okay. I'm just gotta be careful about how I do my like highlights and lowlights. Okay, so this is the top of that plane. This kind of thing. Sometimes fortune favors the bold. The amount of water this thing distributes is really tricky, because it's almost too little, but then at times it's too much. It's like a really difficult balance sometimes to get it to do what I want, and then not like overload the paper. Because even though it's 140-pound water paper, which means it can absorb quite a bit of water before it buckles and like starts to tear. There's still limits. It's a little easier to control it on a regular brush, but on these, since it constantly is distributing, it's a little trickier. This is the wonder how well you guys can see that when it feathers like that. I see how it really. I'm gonna do that. I'll pay attention. I can get away with it. Well, I think towards the bottom it is for sure. Let that fit. Darken around here. Make this really dark. It's kind of dark in the photo, and then give his face some contrast. Close. Too crazy. Being so quiet and I feel so bad, but this one's like really intensive for me. All the rocks and everything to keep track of. It's like, what am I doing? I'm so. There's way more like question over everything before I make a line. Like, is that really where I want that? Is that really as dark as I want to make that or not? It's just a wee bit more nerve-wracking. Just a wee bit. A bit. Just a little bit. Time to move on to the other side, I guess. Although I do want to test something. Tape there, so actually I already have some, so I want to see. I talked earlier a little bit about putting light on top. How will that go? It's kind of pretty muddled. Sad that ink picks up so much. Now this guy. Check. This one's usually pretty. Oh, that actually goes on really well. Definitely more than one coat, but that actually blends pretty well. I'm rather impressed. Okay, so maybe I can put that at the end. I can put that over that little bit of the horn that I messed up. Cool. Cool stuff. That's nice. Maybe put a little tooth detailing too if I have the chance. Let's see. What am I doing over here? What are we doing over here? Actually, I'm gonna do this one. Am I like even in frame right now? Yes, I am. Oh, you can't actually see my little palette thing. So I see people do this actually with Tombow pens, like Tombow art pens. There's like a palette mixer thing that people use. It's pretty cool. I like sit there because it's plastic, so it doesn't adhere to the surface, and like spray a little bit of water or something to have it mix more. Just a great way to get in a little bit more control over the color flow. So a lot more of this, I would say, is just kind of very wash in general. That's fine. Contrast is fine. It's easy. It's easy to add after effect. Do a little bit more black around that. Alright. Down a little bit more. There we go. That's a bit better of a gray. That's a bit better of a gray. Let's do that over here too. And then over here was a lot of like sunlight, so there's a little chunkier, there's still some dark shadows, but harsher shapes. Oh yeah, right. It's 12:53 in the morning. Woo-wee. Woo-wee. We're getting there though. We're getting there. clouds is kind of the highlights. It doesn't irritate the binding too much. Yeah, a little bit faint side of the cloud. I got some dark clouds over here. I'm near my cat again. No, kitty. I love you, baby, but no. I can't trust you in the garage, baby. One of these days I might have to do a cat test. See if he really does get into a bunch of trouble in here or not. I'm needlessly worrying, but I don't. He's meant to fall from the second story, like the second floor, twice. So I feel like my concerns are founded. They're well founded. Oh man. Okay, I feel like I'm starting to get to the point where I can talk a little bit more. I feel bad. I feel like I've been way more quiet in this one, like, than I was last night. But there's just so much more going on to keep track of. I kind of, I don't know what happened. I keep telling myself, oh, I need to do an easy one, like, not an easy one, but I was like, oh, I need to like do something a little quicker, or something that's like not quite as intensive, so I can like be active with chat and do things. Then I feel like, let's do a dragon flying over a canyon. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm sitting here like, oh my god. Who, what, huh? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life again? It's like, what have I agreed to? Actually. To do more detailing stuff over here, but with some slightly dark clouds. Let's blur that out a little bit. Tap it out. Let's see. Got to. Did the light even turn on? I don't remember. Oh, I'm going crazy, guys. It's starting to get to me. See how even though, so I did kind of that under bit earlier, even though I added a really similar color on top of it to show us dark, overall dark in the skin, it kept it layered to an even darker color. That's why we work light to dark, is so you can do washes and things and keep information essentially. That's why a lot of watercolors will do underpaintings and something a lot of digital colors do, digital painters do as well. You know, kind of do an underpainting of, sometimes it's black and white, sometimes they do, watercolor people will do sepia or things like that, to just kind of get the information down, show where the highlights are, lowlights, etc., etc. Kind of work out all your problems beforehand so that then you can just do a wash of color to do the highlights and lowlights and things that you need to emphasize. And what did I just say? What was that word I just tried to say? Emphasize. Try to emphasize. So even though I have that as bone white, I still want to darken some of those areas. Some of these areas I feel like I've made way too light still. Getting a little messier, but it's fine. No one ever had to be perfect. No one ever said it had to be perfect. I don't think it never has to be perfect either, anyways. But I digress. Not really the point. Also, if you feel like I'm guessing at some of this anatomy, you'd be right. Ideally, you would sit there and have a bunch of like, I would probably pull up some horses as reference for like the chest muscling or like some bats and things. But don't really have the energy at this point anymore to do anything quite so extensive as that. Maybe next time, but not tonight. Not quite tonight. I can hear my kitty again. Oh, my kitty. My kitty. My kitty, my kitty, my kitty. I'm sorry, but you will have to wait, baby. You will just have to wait. I really want that shadow to be really dark. Really, really dark. Not quite black, but darn close. Darn close. Oh, it's gonna blend. It's gonna merge. Oh, wait for a second, because it's gonna mix with the one above it, and I don't quite want to do that. Don't quite want that. Let's see. I probably need to add more definition to the background still. Finish him up first before I do that, though. Because I want to make sure he doesn't get lost in the background at all. Turning out quite nicely. I'm probably like way out of frame now. Been better. It's a little harder to frame this one since I did it lengthwise the way I did. But we getting there. We getting there real close. Not real close, but close. love Kesha. Her new album's so good. I feel so bad. I really know I'm not talking enough. I keep saying that because I know it's true, but it's just, oh, there's so much focusing. Focusing so hard, guys. So hard. Oh, I really should do that. I just got pink all over my hair. This is why I don't wear nice clothes, because I will get them so messed up. Some brown texture, just some stippling, some purple marking. I'm trying to think of how to keep losing too much information, but not totally wash out the dragon. Oh, that one really went for it. I'm just gonna like let that one kind of be. Dark it down a little bit, and let that stay really swirly. That's kind of the nice thing about water sometimes is you can kind of just let it do the work for you. You do like water and ink stuff, you just kind of let it direct itself. Maybe you kind of get it a little bit leadway, but just kind of let it spread willy-nilly. It looks really cool. Dark. pebbles sort of texture. How's that looking on the stream? Is it like, let's do my trick of like take a step back sort of feel. It's not too bad actually. I think I want to darken this in here more. I want it dark. It's not as dark in the photograph, but just so the dragon stands out more, I really want to add a lot more contrast. I feel like. Be a little easier with color, but that's not what we're doing. We're doing Inktober. It's all in ink. It's black and white. I mean, I guess you could do a colored ink, but that's not what I'm doing tonight. That's not what we're doing tonight. Okay. Put that a little bit more too. Just a little bit. That in. That over. Get some more contrast to the river at the bottom. You can really even tell it's that. I kind of neglected that part, but it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. Oh, it looks much better. I think we're gonna do this part too. This part I kind of already expected to have to darken anyways, so that's not hard to believe. Just gotta make sure I don't go too crazy and overlap stuff too bad. A bit more contrast. Blur that in. This is my new favorite pen combo. This is really cool, actually. I love the way this has turned out in terms of work process. I'm fibbing and cheating on the background a little bit to give the dragon more contrast. All the parts of the background in this area are not that dark, but he needs to be able to pop out more. Just a tiny bit. Actually, we're not even too sure. I'm just going to do it this way. Just a little Alright. I think we've about done it. Let's do one. Quick. Do that a little further away from the mic so it's not dead. Sorry. Didn't think quite that far ahead. This is because I made a mistake earlier. Ideally, you don't want to make mistakes like this one. Like I did earlier. But they happen. Just kind of. Oh, I'm like totally covering it. I'm sorry. I'm just. Okay, come on, camera. There we go. This is the white pen I bought. Which on normal paper kind of eats through it. But this is watercolor multimedia paper, so it stands up a little bit better. So I do that for some of the details in here, teeth and whatnot. I don't know if I'd say I really like it yet, but it's interesting, so worth a shot. I don't know how visible that really is. Probably not very. Doesn't really matter. Oh wow. Yeah, way too much. Way more inked out of that than I wanted. Oops. Covering it again. Sorry. Positioning that camera works and still see everything as an art. If I do that, it might help a little bit. I think that's pretty good. It's 124. Oh wow. Okay. I think that's pretty good for the night. I think I'm gonna call it at that. I'm gonna date this one. Sign and date it. So according to yesterday's format, I did that. I think this one we're going to just do in this bottom corner here. Alright. I think that's it. All done with Inktober Day 2. I keep clanging things on the table, and I keep forgetting how loud that is in the mic, I'm sure. I'm really sorry about that. One of the many things to get used to here. But yeah, I think we're done. Look at it. At least let's see like that final viewing. Let's zoom in a little bit. Camera's moving. Be forewarned. Frame that a little nicer. Ta-da! This is our Inktober Day 2 Divide, which I took a slightly more literal sense and tried to do a canyon. Tried to draw a canyon. With fairly decent results. I think this side's pretty good. This side, it kind of lost a little bit, but this side I think turned out really good with the river, and we got some of the zigzagging. I think it turned out pretty cool. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. So sorry, this is a bit of a quieter one. This is a little more intensive than I had been planning. When things are a little more intensive, uh, harder to keep it going. But yeah, so this was one of many streams. I'm hoping to, if you're checking this out on YouTube or something after the fact, I am trying to do one stream a day for all of October in honor of Inktober. I believe next one is tomorrow, October 3rd. It will be the prompt for poison. Prompt for poison. Haven't come up with any ideas for that one, but so I'll have to think of something. Sorry, felt something on my foot. So yeah. I think there's anything else I need to say. If you're interested in following me in other art endeavors or life things, if you check my Twitch stream, there's a bunch of links. We've got Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, etc., etc. I will be posting the scanned copy of this as well as all of my preemptive sketches. So this is where we started, guys. We started with that. That became that. How crazy is that? So, I tried to scan all the steps I took to get to this, and I'll post that on those. I post on Tumblr. The final piece I'll post on DeviantArt as well, and Tumblr. The step-by-step sketches I post on my Tumblr. I do those all in one post. So, if you're interested in that, check it out. This will be in my podcast for however long Twitch allows it. And I do put it, last one I put on YouTube, so I'll probably do this one as well. It goes in 15-minute intervals. Because that's the way YouTube works. So yeah, I think that's everything. If you do follow me on Instagram, I'll do some stories related to streaming. I'll try to give updates on Instagram, on all those social media things. If you follow me, you should get an email update, and if you set it to, you should get an email update saying when I go live. I try to give a warning about, today I tried to do one about 10 minutes before, I think. I don't know if it actually ended up being 10 minutes before or not, I didn't time it. But yeah, we'll try and do that. With that, I will call it a night. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming in, and you all have a wonderful night or day wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.